Hello and welcome to Live and Local, Let's Get Fit. I am your host, Regan Birr, and we are pleased to be coming to you live from our QCTV studios. Our program today is all about being healthy and feeling good about the decisions we make every day, whether it is losing weight and getting into shape, or for some folks who have stayed in shape, continuing to exercise. We will talk about eating well, and you will meet a health and wellness coach who will have some tips for us. We want to share with you what we have learned about keeping your mind, body, and spirit well this year. We are going to introduce you to some local folks who will do just that. You're going to learn about eating well and exercising, whatever your age or even if you have a chronic health condition. We will cover karate and Zumba and yoga, as well as meet a local guy who has a CrossFit studio. There are now some high-tech gadgets and apps that can help keep you on task, and we will demonstrate those for you as well. And if a class or a health club is not for you, there are lots of activities to do outside, even in the winter. We also have some simple, easy tips for you as we all try to get fit.
I eat healthy enough most days. I don't need to exercise, right?
False. Less than 5% of adults participate in at least 30 minutes of physical activity each day.
I don't have time to exercise.
False. The average American watches over 5 hours of TV a day. Plenty of time to hit the gym.
I walked to class today. That's enough exercise, right?
False. With at least 20 minutes a day, exercise is known to boost energy, reduce your risk of disease, and give yourself an overall better mood during the day. You're always going to have an excuse to not exercise, but why let that get in the way? Get off the couch, get outside, and have fun.
What is known to work for some people is to have a personal trainer who tells you what to do and makes sure that you do it. We checked in with Lifetime Fitness to see what that's all about.
Lifetime as a company is a healthy way of life company. We're not a gym or a workout facility. By that I mean that we offer something for everyone no matter what their idea of a healthy way of life is. We offer a chiropractor, massage, we offer personal training services, group fit classes. We have a cafe with 100% clean, healthy food. We have something for everyone.
If you're anything like me, then you know that just getting to the gym is half the battle sometimes. And when you do get there, you might not be getting the results you're looking for. Have you ever considered getting a personal trainer?
People should use a personal trainer. I highly recommend it because they're benefiting from the expertise and the knowledge of that personal trainer. A lot of times people join the club and they just work out on their own. And then they get frustrated because they're not seeing the results that they joined the club to achieve. If they worked with a trainer, they would be held accountable, they'd again be educated and able to accomplish those goals much quicker.
I think the biggest thing is probably the accountability. I think there's a lot of people that know probably what they're supposed to do, but maybe struggle with like a day-to-day. I mean, we're all busy, a lot going on. I think it's hard to do it day by day. So I think having someone to check in with, or knowing somebody's going to check in with you maybe is a better way to put it. Helps people feel accountable to whatever goals we maybe set forth together. So,
contrary to popular belief, there's a lot more to personal training than just working out.
Well, it kind of ranges, but biggest thing for me is going to be nutrition. I always try when I start with somebody is the first thing I do is we define the word diet, and it's kind of a loaded word, but I try to get people away from the idea that it's a thing that we're going to do on a temporary basis, and more that it's a lifestyle choice and a thing we're going to do on an ongoing or do the rest of our lives. I think for me, the biggest thing I work on with my clients is first that nutrition piece, because I always tell people about 80% of you achieving whatever your goals you told me you wanted to achieve, 80% or more of it maybe even, is going to come back to what you are or are not putting into your body.
Getting in shape is hard work, but who knows? You might find yourself as one of Lifetime's success stories.
And in my years in the business, I've seen a lot of people become really successful by working with a personal trainer. We actually run at Lifetime what's called a 90-day fitness challenge, and members can either choose to do the weight loss challenge or a transformation body fat challenge. In the last 4 years, Lifetime Champlin has had 2 of the national winners. They've done such a great job.
Trainers at Lifetime really do love their jobs, and they truly care about your success.
tell you, we don't, we're all of us, every trainer that I've ever met, we're all into this because we want to help people. So even if you just want to get our advice on something, we love sharing advice. We're more than willing to talk for as long as you want to talk about nutrition or exercise. I mean, we'd be more than happy to share our thoughts with us. So I think it's a matter of just approach us. We love talking about it, and if it's something that you think that an ongoing relationship or an ongoing training would work for you, obviously we can talk about that as well. But talking to us is always free, and we love talking about people's goals.
Be sure to keep your body hydrated and drink lots of water.
Personal trainers can indeed be so helpful. Fairly new on the market are some apps and tech gadgets that can help keep you on track. They take care of your progress and just help you meet your fitness goals. Corey Lang took a look at the latest and greatest.
What's up, guys? We hope you've enjoyed our live and local Get Fit production thus far, but it only gets better from here on out. In this segment, we're going to highlight 3 top app and fitness gadgets to get you in shape. So without further ado, Number 3, the HealthMate Withings app. The HealthMate app by Withings is a fantastic fitness tracker that's available on Android as well as Apple iOS devices. Withings does a phenomenal job of tracking your daily and weekly steps, keeping track of your blood pressure and weight, and for phones with built-in NFC technology, it even has a heart rate monitor. For our demonstration, we use the Apple iPhone 6 Plus, and by simply placing your index finger over the camera, Withings will detect your pulse and give you your results, without even having to visit the doctor's office. Withings is a robust fitness and health app, and with a price tag of completely free, it's well deserving of our number 3 spot. Number 2, the Fitbit. The Fitbit. Ever since it burst on the scene, its immense popularity has been unstoppable. But what is a Fitbit? Well, QCTV's own Catherine Lenneberg happens to be a proud owner of a Fitbit. And fortunately for us, she's going to fill us in on the features and functionality of this amazing device.
Well, I got my Fitbit for Christmas, and I was very excited to get it because I'm one of those who wants to be a little more active and lose a little weight. And so I was really thrilled to get it as a Christmas gift, and ever since I put it on my wrist, I have been one of those who's motivated by my Fitbit because I look down and I see, oh, I've only taken 2,319 steps. My goal is 10,000 steps. I better get cracking. And then you press again and it says what your heart rate is, which is nice to know. I've only walked a mile. I have a ways to go, and I have taken 5 flights of steps, which is also a really nice feature, causing me to run up and down the steps. So I find that with the Fitbit, I really compete against myself. I don't really care what anybody else does, but it helps me compete against myself. I sit at my desk a lot of the day, and so I had a job before this where I was very active, physically active, and I eat the same amount now as I ate then, and so I'm not as active. So the Fitbit causes me to look down and say, I better get up and walk around. At least once an hour, I will get up and just move my body a little bit. It will also cause me, when I have to go to the post office, to walk to the post office, because that's another way I can get in some steps. You know, the reason I think the Fitbit is such a good thing because it's very motivating. It causes me to get up and do something, and it makes me move my body, which is really the name of the game.
Number 1, the Apple Watch. Although the Apple Watch isn't slated to release until April, it still managed to reach our number 1 spot. With its sleek design and expansive set of health and fitness features, the Apple Watch is a straight-up no-brainer. Matching the aesthetic of other iOS devices in the Apple family, it stuns with great looks and impresses with functionality. On the back of the device, enclosed in a ceramic cover, are infrared LEDs and photodiodes that detect your heart rate and many other fitness-related features. Similar to the Fitbit, the Apple Watch will track your stats in phenomenal and convenient ways. On Apple's webpage, it states an early 2015 release, but they have publicly announced the device will start shipping in April. So check your local retailers and remember to get fit, eat healthy, and stay in shape.
How you spend your day helps you reach your goals. Seeing your progress is motivating.
Thank you, Corey. Some good motivators there. With me now is Barbara Brower, and she is a health and wellness coach with Alina. So welcome, Barbara.
Thanks.
Great to have you. Shouldn't the goal of our lives every day be to try and achieve the highest level of well-being possible?
That's an awesome goal for people, but most of us don't wake up in the morning having that intention in mind.
That is true. So is that something you can help people achieve?
Definitely.
Okay.
As a health and wellness coach with Alina, there's those of us that are certified and work through the Penny George Institute for Health and Healing. I also do some integrative nutrition along with that. We have been trained in order to help people achieve their ultimate health and wellness.
Oh wow, that sounds wonderful for people with chronic conditions and otherwise. Tell us what somebody should do who wants to get into shape. What should they do first?
Well, first, if they have had some chronic conditions or any illness, they need to check with their doctor to be sure it's safe for them to start. But then it's to find something fun to do. People have a tendency to think about running a marathon and they haven't gotten off the couch yet. Right. So what's fun? What can I do that I enjoy, that I can start doing every day?
Exactly. Yeah, for a lot of people that's music. Mm-hmm. And if they want to lose weight, that's their goal, what's their best bet?
Their best bet is to be honest with themselves and to start paying attention to how much they actually eat and how often they eat. We really recommend 3 meals a day and not saying that you can't have something, because sometimes when we say you can't have it, that's that negative motivator that has you crave it.
That's true. That makes perfect sense. And how about someone who is totally new to exercise? What should they do?
Again, I'd have them find out what they enjoy doing, and then to start being active, to get up and walk around. Maybe they want to get a step counter, a pedometer, or one of the apps that we looked at earlier in terms of helping them find out how active they are to begin with. So if they're only getting 200 steps a day, which seems a little bit low, they can at least work from there, but they have to be aware of where their starting point is.
Awareness is key. That is
Yes.
true. Okay. And so many people are busy these days. How can folks achieve balance in their lives?
First of all, you have to make yourself a priority. And I know if you're a parent and a working person or even just a busy single person, you need to set some boundaries for yourself. And it can start by making a date for yourself in your date book, setting aside some time to sit and think about where you want to balance, where you're out of balance, where your body, mind, and soul, so to speak, need to be balanced out, and what really has you feel good and at peace.
That makes sense. And something that can help with that is perhaps the concept of a healthy kitchen. Talk to us a bit about that.
So a healthy kitchen is having healthy foods for yourself to eat. And if you tend to eat a lot of your foods out, first and foremost is going to the grocery store and having healthy foods in your kitchen so that it's just not convenience foods or processed foods. Have some real food, some fruits, some vegetables, some go-to proteins that you can have, and then you're going to be more likely to make healthier choices for yourself.
Okay, sure. Whole foods.
Correct.
Is something you recommend? Okay.
Right, rather than all the processed things with all those ingredients sometimes we can't even pronounce, let alone know what they're doing to our bodies.
Yes, the processed is a no-no. Why would we want to do that? Okay. And what if people like me now and then, I need additional motivation? What do you have as a recommendation for that?
Well, I know people talk about that carrot dangling in front of your face.
Right.
And different things motivate different people. So yes. I encourage you to sit back and think of a time when you were really motivated. What was your vision? What got you to move? For some people, it's saying, I want to quit doing something, and then reframing that into a positive aspect of a change in your life. For other people, they might want to just have fun. So when's the last time you have fun? And start having fun and making that a priority. But it's finding out what lights you up, what makes you smile. Because it's not motivating if you think, oh, this is a pain.
Right.
This isn't fun.
Or something I have to do.
Right.
But if you can find your inner light, and that sounds like something you can help people identify.
Definitely. And we have people come up with what their vision is of being at their absolute best, and then work with motivational tools and motivational stories for themselves that they can reflect back on to be their best.
Wow, sounds like that would be helpful in life in general and also sports. So
it is.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much. That was wonderful advice. Stay with us, because up next we have some recipes for you that'll have you craving healthy food.
Hello and welcome to our Healthy Cooking Food segment. We are happy to be here with you today. I'm Catherine and this is Matt. Thank you, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, and today we are going to make some healthy vegetable soup. Now this is a really standard meal, and every time I make it, it turns out different, Matt, because you can put anything into it.
Sounds good.
Which is fantastic. We always start with garlic and onions, and then we're going to use vegetables, and they are seasonal vegetables, so whatever is in season. So Matt, if you want to start chopping away and put it in here.
Sounds good.
I will get this going, and we will get I use unsalted butter and I use olive oil, because I find that that's healthy and yet it adds a really good flavor. So we'll start with that, and first we saute the onions and the garlic, and then we add the vegetables. We add some broth, some salt and pepper. If you have any fresh herbs or basil, that is really delicious. You can add to that as well, and it just makes for a really healthy meal. It makes for a good dinner at night, and then you have leftovers the next day, and you can put them in your freezer. You can bring them to work the next day. I get a lot of requests for this meal from my family. My daughter always says, vegetable soup.
What strikes me about it a little bit is when you were telling me the ingredients, it's like not only is it an excellent vegetable soup, but it can be a base for anything else. So you can make it a chicken thing, or maybe even a beef type thing, or you can kind of go whatever way you want.
Exactly. You can add a lot of different things to it. So we're going to start with the garlic and the onions, which always makes the kitchen smell good. You know you're having good food when you smell garlic and onions. And we chop this ahead of time, and you can use any kind of onion. Sometimes I use a red onion, sometimes I use a white onion, sometimes a yellow onion, and you just get that going before you add the other vegetables, and then I cook them a little bit before I add the broth. My daughter is away at school, and when she comes home, this is always her first request. Could you make vegetable soup?
How could you say no?
Yes. Now, Matt, you cook for two little guys for dinner. Would they like this?
I think they would absolutely love it, because first of all, they love anything that's soup, that it's easy for them to eat, just a spoon in a bowl and they're ready to go with it. But other than that, they like any of this stuff individually. My kid will go to town on just some raw carrots. So just the base ingredients alone are things that they already love.
So chop, chop, chop.
All right.
You know, and some people don't like the chopping, and I know some older cooks who say, oh, my hands are tired and it hurts me to chop. So I've noticed in the supermarkets you can buy the vegetables that are already chopped up, which makes it easy too. Personally, I like chopping vegetables. That is the fun part to me.
With good sharp knives, it goes by in a cinch anyway.
Exactly. And I just learned a trick about sharp knives, that if you go to a Byerly store, which there are many in the Twin Cities, you can take 3 of your knives, and for free, they will sharpen your knives.
Is that right?
You leave them there, and then you come back a week later, and you have very sharp knives. And any good cook will tell you that's really important in the kitchen, that you have to have sharp knives.
I think I might have to schedule a trip to Byerly's then.
Exactly. And you can add anything to this. Anything that you have either in your refrigerator, in your freezer, and you can make it different every single time.
Celery is fragrant.
Alrighty, and I'm going to stir this and see how we're doing. Now, if you're a vegetarian and you don't want chicken broth or beef broth, I use chicken broth in mine, but if you're a vegetarian, you can use water. And it tastes really good with water. You can add a little wine if you want for really good flavor. I add a little tamari, which is, I have to eat gluten-free, so for me, a lot of people would say soy sauce, but for me it's tamari because that's a wheat-free, and it really adds a lot of flavor.
So soy is not gluten-free then?
Correct.
Okay, I wasn't aware.
Yep. So I use tamari, and tamari works really well. So our onions are cooking, which means we can add our vegetables. And we'll start with this. And then that butter and olive oil gets on that before we add the broth.
Okay.
I also use sea salt and black pepper,
Salt and pepper.
salt and pepper and butter. That's a secret to my good cooking.
I think that's the basics for almost any good meal.
And we get it going here. And then we're going to add the broth. And you can use any kind of broth. I buy the one that says gluten-free, but you wouldn't think there'd be any gluten in them, but I do buy the one that says gluten-free.
Sure, sure.
And then we just let it simmer, maybe 20 minutes. The other thing I like to do with vegetable soup is add something green right before it's done.
Okay.
Like frozen peas from the freezer, or kale is good, or spinach is good.
And what does that do for it?
It doesn't need to cook as long, so you can just add it at the end.
Right, right.
And now we're just going to let it heat up, and then it's going to be soup. So the soup is almost done, and once again, it is a very healthy meal. It's vegetables, it's a little broth, and it'll sustain a family for a meal. There's leftovers the next day, so I think it's terrific.
Absolutely. It's something that a lot of those items people just have around the house anyway. It's something that you can make just about any given night, and it's absolutely fantastic.
All right, soup's on. Let's eat.
Whether dining with friends, family, or colleagues, take your time and enjoy each other's company.
That soup did look delicious. So what activity has 15 million people doing it in 180 countries in over 200,000 locations? It's Zumba. And what Zumba is a dance fitness class. It comes in all intensity levels, and it's a total body workout combining cardio, muscle conditioning, and flexibility. We went to the Andover YMCA to check it out.
All right, here you go. Come on in. I love Zumba simply for the fact that it is a workout where you do not feel like it's a workout. It's a party. It's a party where you happen to walk away sweat-filled, calorie burned, but excited for the next one. It's honestly about what you're able to do. There is no competition. There is no, you have to do it a certain way. It's about being creative, and I said letting your creativity fly. So Zumba was created by Beto Perez. His was actually a fluke, kind of like creativity meets, impromptu at the same time. He was going to a step class that he was teaching in Colombia, and at the last minute he forgot his step music. All he had in his car was Spanish music, so he took that and ran with it, and he found that the class actually loved doing Latin moves on a step box. So he kind of tweaked it, worked from there, and now you have Zumba. I would say incorporate small steps if you don't have time for exercise. Anything that you do is worthwhile, even if it's just a 10-minute walk. Get out there and develop those healthy habits. And once you do, find something you love. If you love running, do that. If you love dancing, come to a Zumba class. If it's not Zumba, do something that you love, because if you love it, you'll stick with it for life.
If healthy living is one of those priorities, it typically will trump something that we have going on in our day otherwise. And the biggest thing is finding things that you enjoy doing that make you want to come here, which is why we have so many different types of activities, to really find that one thing that you can latch on to and say, this is my recurring Zumba class or my recurring active older adult class that I can come to the Y for and know that I have other people there to support me, but also I'm going to have fun while I do it.
I think Zumba is big because people like to express themselves through dance. That is something that will never grow old or people will never get tired of. People like moving their bodies in ways that are to the beat to the music or to how they feel and what excites them and impassions them. So that's what Zumba does. Samba, and then we have pass out, hit the floor, and then we're done, right? Sure, why not?
All of my baby weight.
Nice.
40 pounds doing Zumba. So I have to say it's a very good workout.
It is.
And you honestly don't feel like you're here now. So.
Thank you.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Find an activity that you love and it doesn't seem like exercise.
Hey you, get off the couch. Get outside. Go run, you love running. Put the phone down. Get off the couch. I'll race you.
Fantastic, all good information. The Andover YMCA really is a wonderful community gathering place. And often in the mornings you walk in, you're going to see people visiting, having coffee, and getting ready to exercise. A lot of those folks are retired and they stay in awesome shape because of a class that we're going to go to next that's called Silver Sneakers Yoga.
Exhale, twist to the left. When you move so purposefully, your mind is attached. Yoga as being a unifying thing for body, mind, and spirit.
Rotate the upper body to the right as you lower the arms. One is going to come.
I love it. I love it. I come almost every day, and I tell other people about it too. So trying to get them, some people who live in my apartment, the condo, the over 55, they go, oh, I could never do that. I said, yes, you can. Just start, and you can do it.
Inhale.
Y is actually more than just a standard gym and swim type of place. It's actually a place where we create opportunity for people to create their own communities right here within Andover. So from group exercise classes to potlucks and active older adult activities to youth activities, so families get together and they're able to bring their kids here for soccer programs, for homeschool activities. It's really a place for community to gather.
It's unbelievable how many people that you meet here and how many people you become friends with. I mean, it's a great social atmosphere. After classes, oftentimes we'll go down and have coffee. And I bet there are people down there right now having coffee waiting for us.
I couldn't ever have a better job than what I have. I absolutely love my job, I love my people, and I just couldn't live without it. I mean, I love it. I mean, I was out with a back problem a couple years ago, fearing that I might have to give this up, and that was sad. I really would hate to give this up. And absolutely, yoga and exercise helped me to get back to good health and really a lot of energy.
Nice relaxed swing.
It's the benefits that it brings, and especially when you're down and feeling not healthy at one point, and then you add yoga and you see an improvement in your health, in your vitality, you're just going to stay with it.
Stay on your toes if you can. Bring the arms halfway down.
I just want to tell people to get out there and enjoy their life and get into a class no matter where it is, because you're going to feel better. You're going to feel a lot better.
Managing stress will help you have a positive outlook on life in general.
Namaste.
Yoga is great for almost anyone. Well, I'd like to welcome my next guest, Greg Springman. He is a personal trainer with an organization called Live to Be Healthy. They are residential fitness classes in a variety of settings, such as assisted living centers and memory care centers. So this is wonderful. Welcome, Greg, and thank you for being here today. Give us some background on Live to Be Healthy. Where did it get started, and what services do you offer?
Thank you for having me. Live to Be Healthy was formed in a health club in Belle Plaine, Minnesota. That's where the idea was hatched. My cousin Corey Chapey owns the health club in Belle Plaine, and he also formed the company Live to Be Healthy. And it started in 2008. He got into a couple facilities here in the North Metro teaching classes. And you know, I've been in the fitness field for 20 years, and he asked me if I'd like to try to teach a couple of these classes. I taught a couple classes, fell in love with the concept, with helping seniors live healthier, happier lives. And I love working with the senior population. And we offer a lot of you know, basically strength and balance type classes for these seniors to try to help them live, like I said, happier, healthier lives and stay in their facilities or in their homes as long as they possibly can.
Right. Very admirable goal. And balance is a huge part of that. So
yes.
That's great that you work on that. And I hear we have to start working on balance at rather a young age, and it's really important as we get older.
Right, right. And that's what, you know, seniors are going to fall, you know, as we get older, but we try to limit that with the exercises that we do in the class. We focus on a lot of the strength training aspects as well. A lot of the seniors will walk, which is very good for you, but we also focus a lot on the strength training as well. We provide our own equipment for these classes with various types of resistance bands and some sand weights and exercise balls.
Okay, and make it easier to do, set them up for success. That makes sense. Talk about your slogan, taking your body where your mind wants to go.
Well, I think in everybody's mind, my mind, your mind, you know, a senior's mind, we all want to be younger than we are. And we can hopefully try to achieve some of that young youthfulness by being on a regular exercise program. So by exercising regularly, hopefully we can try to take our body where our mind wants it to go.
Sure, sure. I know I agree with that completely too. And I want to be able to be active when I'm 90 years old. So this is excellent. And the types of classes you hold, you mentioned the balance classes and the strength. Go into that a little bit more.
And yeah, the strength and the balance. We also focus a lot on flexibility.
Excellent.
And when we do these classes, we do measurable results. For example, when we start a class, we'll do a baseline test for the residents. We'll do a strength test, a balance test, a flexibility test, and we'll measure those results every 4 to 5 months. So we have evidence to show that our program is working. We can present this evidence to the administrators, to the residents themselves, and we can prove that our program works.
That's fantastic. Well, congratulations on all your success. And why do you feel that it's important that older folks work out and people in memory care centers?
It's just the concept of staying active. I don't remember who told me this quote, but I always remember it. Is somebody told me at one point that one of the leading causes of death for seniors is the recliner. So by staying active, by getting out to a regular exercise program, I mean, I myself feel the same way. If I don't exercise for a few days, a few weeks, that my body starts breaking down a little bit. So as we age, as we get seniors, it's important to keep the body moving. And memory care residents, it's not only a physical exercise, but mental as well, even the regular seniors that aren't in memory care. So we try to exercise physically, which also helps the mind as well.
Absolutely, they're tied together, and there's evidence to show that. So it's great that you're supporting that, and thank you. I have people in my family who had Alzheimer's, and I think, you know, this would have really benefited them. So kudos to you. And the results and benefits you've seen, they just sound phenomenal.
Well, things that we take for granted, like myself and you know, being able to reach up into our cupboard and grab a glass out of there, you know, that's a huge accomplishment for some of these people. You know, they can increase range of motion, increase balance, increase strength. I've had people go from using a walker to using a cane to using neither. So it's a progression that we can follow with these exercises that we do with the seniors.
Right, and it's mind-body awareness. I get that because I dealt with chronic illness at a young age, arthritis and lupus, and it was the same thing. I had trouble being aware of where I was placing my hands at some points. I had trouble squatting down to take the garbage out of the garbage can. So it sounds like you're creating functional exercise so people can have a high quality of life. It's so important for our people in our families. And what are the advantages to a residential community center?
Well, with our program, I feel that it can be a marketing tool as well. So for example, if a facility A has hired an outsourced fitness company like us to come in and do an exercise program 3 days a week, and the facility a couple miles down the road has a videotape, I feel it's a big difference between having a live person doing an exercise class, a certified personal trainer, certified group fitness instructor, teaching a class versus a videotape. So marketing purposes, it helps a lot with these facilities to have a Live to Be Healthy program in their buildings.
Of course, that makes sense for that personal connection. Well, thank you so much for that and your wonderful program, Live to Be Healthy. And now we are going to switch gears and talk about karate. You may see karate studios all over when you're driving around, and we checked out a local karate studio in Champlin called Professional Karate Studios. Let's take a look.
Go! Professional Karate Studios, we offer an Americanized martial arts program. We have two separate programs. We have a 4, 5, 6-year-old program specifically for little dragons, and then we have a 7 to adult program that works the same exact skills, just in a little more complex manner.
My kids have been doing karate for 6 years now. We started because we would see people doing karate out in front of the karate studio, and my son kept saying, I want to try that, I want to try that. We didn't really know anything about karate at all. We signed him up to be able to take a month of classes, and he absolutely fell in love with it. I started karate on a dare with my daughter. She was 9, and I was wanting to do something fun with her for just a month because my other kids who have some special needs were doing summer school, and I'm like, oh, Brittany, let's do something together. And in my mind, I'm thinking, Michael's Craft Club, or Learn to Crochet, or something like that. And we were driving to the grocery store, and we drove by a karate studio, and she said, anything, Mom? And she was kind of snarky, and I said, yeah, anything. And she goes, how about karate? And I'm like, sure. So I drove right in, signed us up for a month, and promptly got hooked.
Well, you know, you're going to learn self-defense. You're going to learn how to be confident, to be a leader. You know, of course, you're going to learn martial arts skills and have a good time doing it. You know, family it's a very awesome activity that you can do. You know, there's very few events that you can do with your family, the whole family. You know, myself, I was able to do martial arts with both my sister and my father, and we were able to go to class together, train together, set goals, and achieve those goals together. And I think it really brought us closer as a family. It was a lot of fun. You know, we spend a lot of time talking about life skills. We talk about, you know, being a good leader, having confidence, leading by example as well. Also making sure, you know, they're able to listen, they're able to focus. There's a lot of different life skills that we work beyond, you know, the physical punching and kicking. And the parents see a big, you know, difference in school and behavior at home. It really makes an amazing difference for the 4, 5, 6-year-olds.
If I could do it, anyone can do it. And it has helped me keep my strength for all these years. It's good for you.
Find a sport you are passionate about. Practice, 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 and you will excel.
CrossFit is a competitive fitness sport, and the workouts incorporate elements from high-intensity interval training. The workouts include weightlifting, and they can be intense, believe me. They test the limits of strength, speed, endurance, and often you do it in a group setting. My next guest will be Ryan Boylan. He's a local CrossFit studio owner. Let's take a look, and then we will meet him.
First, we always want to learn the movement, and I think CrossFit, first and foremost, is about learning how to move well as a human being. And then after you learn how to move well, you want to become consistent with that movement. And after you become consistent with moving well, then we can add that intensity on top of it and really aim at that whole fitness level after that. So CrossFit is first and foremost, I think, about just getting your body back to the natural state of how you should be and how you should be moving, adding flexibility and mobility into all the different movements. And then once we get you to that certain point where we think you're moving well, then we can go ahead and make sure that you're moving often. And after you're moving often, then we'll go ahead and add that intensity. And then people are seeing the results that they never thought they'd ever see, doing things they never thought they'd ever be able to do.
It just so happened that me and Ryan worked at the same gym, and we both shared that same passion to open a gym and to help change people's lives. So it's a funny story. Ryan challenged me to 1,000 push-ups, and I did 1,000 push-ups, and we went and got pizza after that, and both shared our passion for wanting to open a gym.
Well, each class we dedicate 1 hour. We use up the full hour, so when you come in, we've always got you warming up with movements that are specific or particular to that day that we'll be doing. After you do the warm-up, we usually have a portion set aside that we use for strength, and use that time to teach people also movement, good movement with the barbell, or whatever that strength movement is that day. Sometimes it'll be a gymnastics strength movement. And then after we go through that strength portion, we have kind of that conditioning portion, or what in CrossFit we call a WOD, which stands for workout of the day. And then after that, there's usually time left over where we'll spend that time doing a little bit of flexibility, mobility, stretch you out and make sure you don't go home and ruin yourself.
You get really personal with people, and you see their limitations and where they need help. And you know, as weird as it may sound, CrossFit makes you a better person. It can make you a more focused worker, and just having that physical exercise, that release, makes you a better friend, maybe a better dad.
CrossFit is not what you see on TV all the time. If you see people flipping heavy tires, climbing ropes, and throwing heavy weights over their head, those are for the elite few that get to that level, or that even want to achieve that level. I think CrossFit, for the majority, is to be able to come in and learn how to do everything really well. And it doesn't have to be scary for most people. A lot of people are intimidated to try it. They get scared when weights are set down in front of them, and that doesn't necessarily need to be the case. You know, if you watch NFL players playing football, you're not going to say, well, I'll never play football again. Those are the best of the best. You want to be able to at least play tag, you know, or flag football with your friends in the backyard.
Start slowly so you don't get discouraged. Work your way up to being a world-class athlete.
That was Ryan, everybody, and here he is right now. Welcome, Ryan. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Regan. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is awesome. So tell us about CrossFit. You know, to me, sometimes it seems so extreme. How did you get into it?
Absolutely. I got into it probably the best way that CrossFit has always been advertised, and that's through word of mouth. I had a friend who came and told me about it. I went and tried it out. I liked it. I went back several times, and I think I had a regular gym membership for about 6 months, and I never went back to it. So I just kept doing the CrossFit thing.
Yeah.
It does seem extreme, especially when you YouTube or Google search anything about CrossFit. You usually see all these people doing crazy things like that, and I always like to explain that that's the pointy end of the spear. That's not what it is for everybody. It really depends on functional movement, and so I always relate it to watching NFL football. Those guys are extreme, but that doesn't mean that I can't go in the backyard and play flag football with my friends just to stay active.
Right.
So you can do functional movement no matter what age you are. Obviously, it will change if you're an Olympic athlete to if you know you're businessman Joe or Grandma Betty. But
Right.
functional movement's always going to be imperative to keeping you moving well throughout all your years.
Throughout life, yeah, that's fabulous. And it sounds like you're going to teach us, you know, ways to go through that keep us safe. So, you know, personally, do you do this every day? And is it your goal to be the fittest that you can possibly be?
I think it's my goal to be as fit as I can be personally. So, and that should be, you know, I believe everybody's goal. Everybody's goal might be a little bit different.
Right.
If you're training for a particular sport, or if you just want quality of life, to age gracefully, to play with your kids, that's kind of the goal.
Right.
So everybody can benefit from being stronger, healthier, more flexible, better coordination and balance, and those are the things that we really work on to make you more well-rounded.
Right.
You don't necessarily need to compete with all the top athletes, the
Right.
healthiest individual. So, but being healthy for you and doing what you want to do, that's very important.
Yeah, a helpful tool to make you feel competent and confident as well in life. So
Absolutely.
for a beginner, say someone like me, how long would it take to get truly advanced?
I think advanced is it's a loose term. To get advanced for you, that's really all we're competing with. We are not competing with advanced for some, I don't know. I guess
Right.
it's hard to define what
Well,
that means.
How about for somebody like me with arthritis? Why don't you show me a move, how to do a demo of?
Absolutely. So let's go through a squat real quick.
Okay.
It's an imperative movement. Everybody squats throughout their life, and you can do this with no body weight at home. So we're just going to start with the squat. I like to have my feet about shoulder to hip width apart, my toes maybe out 5 to 10 degrees. All right. I'm just going to kind of sit my hips back. I want to keep my chest up and my arms out. Okay, and then I'm just gonna, it's almost like sitting down in a chair. I wanna go all the way down. And then from this position here, you should have your weight on your heels. Yeah, that's very nice, very nice.
Okay.
Nice tight back. Your knees are out over your pinkies.
Yep.
And there
Pinky
we go.
toes, okay,
Yep.
got
Wiggle
it.
your toes if you can.
Yes.
And then we're just gonna stand up, drive through the heels.
Drive through the heels.
And all the way up.
Okay, so from the side,
So from
toes
the
out a
side,
little, okay.
You can see it. We're gonna keep a nice tight back. Again, we'll just sit the hips back and keep the chest up.
Okay.
And then we'll go all the way down.
Got it.
Just like that.
I feel balanced.
Good,
Okay.
good. And then we can come up right through the heels, just
Okay.
like that.
Cool.
Absolutely. It's an imperative move. Everybody gets up off the floor, or even the toilet. So it's all very
Functional
important.
movement.
Functional movement.
Exactly. And safe. Well, that sounds awesome. CrossFit sounds like a wonderful sport. It may not be for everybody, but some people like to just get outside and enjoy the outdoors. So what we've done is send our QCTV outdoor enthusiasts to see what they like to do outside.
If you're looking for a way to get out and about during these winter months, then the Wild Mountain Ski and Snowboard area in Taylor's Falls is a great place to go. The snow sports director there, Mark Dunsworth, has the scoop.
Well, here at Wild Mountain we have a lot of different programs geared towards getting people out on the snow, having fun. We're a really family-oriented hill. So we have programs for kids. We have weekly programs where they work with the same instructors for 2 hours a day for multiple weeks in a row. We have race camps for adults. We have adult intermediate lessons, and we have everything down to daily 1-hour lessons for people that are just trying out the sports.
We have several Learn to Ski programs to be able to get people introduced to the sport. One of our most popular is our Get Hooked on Skiing and Snowboarding. It's for ages 13 and up, and it's 3 lift tickets, 3 lessons, and 3 rentals for only $99. And it includes 2-hour lessons each time, and it's guaranteed to teach you to ski or snowboard.
As you might have guessed already, skiing and snowboarding are a great way to stay fit and have fun while doing so.
It's definitely a physical activity. If you have not skied or snowboarded before, it's definitely you're going to find muscles you've never realized you had before. If you are a proficient skier or snowboarder, it's still an aerobic activity. As you're coming down the hill, you can take long turns, short turns, a variety of things down the hill to be able to get you that aerobic activity you're looking for.
Skiing and snowboarding are very aerobic activities. They're very difficult and physically demanding. So it's a great way to get out and get fresh air in the middle of winter while enjoying what we have here in Minnesota. We have great terrain, we have some great hills, and luckily we have these ski areas like Wild that has a lot of lifts, programs, opportunities for people to come out and enjoy Mother Nature in Minnesota.
Skiing and snowboarding are something you've always wanted to try, but just weren't sure how to get started. Here are some tips to help you get out on the snow.
Well, we offer many programs for a variety of ability levels. So if someone wants to come in and try out skiing or try out snowboarding for the first time, we offer beginner lessons. You can show up and walk up to the counter and get one 4 times a day. We have them at 11 o'clock, 1, 4, and 6 every single day of the week. We also have private lessons, semi-private lessons. We have all the way down to age 4 for children for skiing and down to age 6 for snowboarding.
I guess I would just encourage everyone to come out and try the sport. With our professional ski instructors and snowboard instructors, they really, even if you've never done it before and you feel a little bit cautious, like, oh my gosh, I couldn't do it, they're going to be able to help you, and you're going to be able to learn and get outside and have fun. And we've had so many people say, why didn't I learn this 10 years ago? Now that I do it, I have something to do, and it makes winter go by so much faster, and it's so much fun. So I just encourage everybody to come out and try it.
Get outside, because the beauty is there, even in the winter, and the fresh air is invigorating. Hey you!
Me?
It's time to get off the couch.
Get off the what?
Get off the couch. That's right, it's that time of year. Time to get in shape. But it's important to remember that even though you're excited and determined to get in shape, you need to take it slow. Ease into the workout process. Remember, when you're ready to get back in shape, take it slow to start, or you could end up hurting yourself.
Like me.
There are a lot of things to do outside in the winter to stay in shape. But one of our favorite things is ice skating. All you need is an ice rink, some warm clothes, and a pair of ice skates. ice skating is a fun way to exercise outdoors. QCTV's own Jared Boyer is an avid ice skater and hockey player.
I started skating probably when I was younger, 5, 6 years old. Then I kind of got out of it. Then I probably picked it back up when I was maybe in beginning of middle school or end of middle school, beginning of high school. And I never played hockey, never really was taught how to skate, so it was kind of on my own to learn how to skate.
Not only is ice skating fun, but it's also a great way to get cardio in if you don't like running outside in the winter.
This is kind of my form of cardio workout. Gets your heart rate going. If you know, I spend hours out here, and so by the end of the day, I'm just dead and tired, and you know, and so it gets my heart rate going, and you know, it also works out, you know, other parts of my body that typically I don't use in a typical day. You know, my legs. Also with, you know, playing hockey, you know, you use your upper body a lot too, so yeah.
Ice hockey is also something that you can enjoy on the ice rink. Whether you're playing with a group of friends or just getting in some practice by yourself, it's a great way to burn off some calories.
Yeah, skating, you know, could be done as an individual or as a group, like I like to do. I like to get a bunch of buddies together, maybe just, you know, maybe don't have to play hockey or anything, just go out and enjoy skating and trying out different things, or I'll take the girlfriend out, you know. It's a lot of fun to do.
In our area, there are many different parks where you will be able to find an ice skating rink. So the next time you are thinking about what you can do outside to get some exercise, try ice skating. It's a great way to get fit. Think of yourself as a healthy, athletic person, and pretty soon you are one.
Awesome. Well, I believe that fitness should be available to everybody, especially people with chronic conditions. I have chronic conditions myself, systemic lupus and arthritis. It's created some pain in my life that I've had to work through, the physical pain, especially the knees and the hips. And so using my degree in mechanical engineering and with the encouragement of my sister, I developed an exercise program called Regan Moves. And this program is low torque and low impact. It's also interval training. But what I mean by low torque is we're doing low twisting. So I just want to show you, this is an example of something we don't do in class. Lunges. They put some torque on the knee. Force times distance is torque, okay? So you've got a pressure point in your knee right now. You also have a tension force and a compression force here, and that can hurt. So what I do is I stand up and I take away that bending moment arm. So it seems counterintuitive. By standing over the weight, putting your weight over the joint that hurts can actually take away the pain. We're reducing torque. You can't eliminate it totally, but you sure can reduce it in the planes, okay? Another example is if you're going to do some shoulder presses, you want to keep your weights or your hands, and we're going to use body weight today, over your shoulders, okay? You don't want them extended out this way because now you're creating a bending moment like this. And you don't want them too far forward because now you're creating a bending moment like this, okay? Same thing, keep them right above your shoulders and that'll make sense to reduce that torque. So I just want to show you some low impact moves. We're going to start with a cardio movement that I call soft jacks. I don't like to do jumping jacks or running. You know, you can do this without your shoes. I'm actually going to take mine off right now. And just relax. You can do it to whatever intensity you want. So today, right now, we're going to show you a couple different levels of intensity for my cardio segment. One nice trick is if you're like me, you got arthritis, you got a lot of pain, you want to get your heart rate up, right? Because we want to burn fat, we want to burn stored calories, we want to be able to get the heart rate up for our cardiovascular health. Engage the large muscles and just get your arms over your head. If you have cardiac issues, you're going to want to keep your arms just at shoulder height, okay? But, and always pass things by your doctor before you start a new program, this is an example of how you can get your heart rate up quick, 120, 130 beats a minute in no time. I'm engaging my large muscles like my glutes, hamstrings, and quads, getting arms overhead. If you want to increase it, cross your arms below and above you. If you want to decrease intensity, you can follow Vanessa, do it from a chair, or just transfer your weight and do a low range of motion movement with your arms. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And always, if you have any questions, you can check it out on my website, reganmoves.com. All right, let's walk it out a little bit. That's a good cardio segment. Are you guys feeling a little bit warm?
Doing good.
Good, awesome, love to hear that. Okay, so let's go and do a strength segment on our quads. It's also a challenge to work out your quad muscles, right, when you have knee pain. So we encourage you to keep your weight over the joint. If you need to do that, you might hinge at the hip just a tad. Keep the bulk of your weight, which I think about as my chest area, over my ankles, okay? And over my knees is the goal to reduce torque. If you want to isolate, this is how I imagine doing a modified lunge. You're going to lift one of your feet up. Just stand up on one of the toes, okay? And you're isolating one of your legs. Go back to the center. Keep balancing. Time under tension is going to increase your muscle mass. Okay, if you really want to challenge your balance, you can actually lift your foot right off the floor. If you want to just challenge and isolate one leg without being super challenging, just barely shift your weight, okay, to one side or the other. So now I'm in the middle for 4, 3, 2, shift to the right, 4, 4, 3, 2, back to the center, 4, 3, 2, now to the left. You guys get the idea, okay? Take a break, walk it out. Good. Can you feel your quad muscles working? Mm-hmm. Awesome. And a fun one that Vanessa's doing, you guys, is you can also do extensive exercises from a chair for your quads and your hip flexors. Come up slowly with one leg. We're going to pulse and hold. 4, 3, 2, now hold it for 4, 3, 2, take it down, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other leg, 4, 3, 2, pulse it, 4, 4, 3, 2, and hold, 4, 4, 3, 2. Now take it down, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that's another excellent way that you can work out your quads. With this interval training, we do take a stretch in between each motion. Every movement gets a stretch. So the next day we can feel like we worked out, but we don't want to be sore. And the other motto is, of course, if it hurts, stop. We don't want to force anybody to do anything. This is supposed to be fun. All right, stretch it out, take care in how you stretch and are comfortable. Let's add one more movement just to give you guys an idea of something we do in the class. We're going to do a multi-joint exercise, okay? Take your heels out just for heel taps, arms in front of you, keep them at shoulder height. And for 4, 3, 2, palms together, challenge your mind. 3, 2, palms up, 4, 4, 3, 2, and again, palms down. 4, 3, 2, palms together. 4, if you need to reduce the bending moment arm, just bend your arms, okay? Let's show that modification. There we go, 4, 3, subtle differences make a difference. The beauty is in the details. Okay, we want to feel a sense of accomplishment every day. Even people with chronic conditions can work out, and it's important that we do so. Okay, good for the mind body, connecting right and left sides of the brain. We do lots of exercises like that as well. Walk it out. Nice job. So there we worked out the shoulder, biceps, and of course our large muscles. Okay, take your stretch. And one thing I want to emphasize too is do as much as you can when you can. I think that's important for people with chronic conditions. There's always something that you can do. So for the rest of your day, I hope you think about this wonderful show that we had today at QCTV. If you want to watch it again, we'll be playing it on QCTV.org. I also want to say thank you to the Lupus Foundation of Minnesota for helping me with my program and helping so many people like me with lupus. And be sure to check out reganmoves.com for more information. So thanks again. We hope to see you again for another Let's Get Fit. How many more of these should we do?